Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm painting a hand, which is very difficult for me, and I'm using gouache, some metallic watercolors, white ink, and some colored pencils to do this. But I wanted to talk about a subject that has been on my mind the past weeks actually, which is finding your style and what does that actually mean. So I think finding your style is actually an accumulation of certain things. So first off, to find a style, you need to know the basics of drawing. So that means perspective, knowing where to put shadows and light, drawing a cube or a sphere, all that basic boring stuff that nobody actually wants to do. But it's important to have that as a starting point. And once you get to know your basics, you can actually start experimenting with your illustration. So for me, right now I like to break the rules. I don't follow perspective or stuff like that, but it has helped me with how I sketch things and knowing where to put certain things or how to add elements, how to make a composition. So even though it's hard at first to start drawing and actually knowing what you're doing, you need to have those basics so you can be confident in the way you draw. And then you can start doing stuff that is a bit weirder, just experimenting, you know. Also, you need to do a lot of practice. So before you dive in and you say, oh, I want to have this style because I've seen this illustrator and his stuff is so recognizable and I want to do that, you really have to learn. Also, in finding your style, you need to find out what medium works for you. So for me, it's water-based paints. It's pretty clear. I like watercolors, gouache, ink, stuff that dries really quickly because my patience is very small. So find what you like. Some people like oil painting, some people like acrylics, some people like marker. Others just want to do stuff in pencil. So it's nice to mix them up. But for me, I always go back to my watercolors or my gouache. It's my safe zone. And I know that I can turn out an illustration that I will love eventually. Also, finding your subject is something that defines your style in some sort of way. So, as you know, I like to draw animals, botanical elements, nature-inspired stuff, and portraits. I'm not sure why, but it's just what draws my attention and what I like to put out there. So, most people have something they like to draw, so think about what you enjoy drawing. So, if you want to be an illustrator and cars are your thing, then just go ahead and do it. Also, I found that finding a color palette that works for you is very helpful in defining your style. I guess my color palette is pretty obvious. I rarely use reds or warm tones. I mostly stick to greens, blues, and yellows. And I don't know, it's just what makes me happy. And yeah, I think your style needs to make you happy in the end. And yeah, last but not least, I think this is another important aspect, which is the fact that your style is sort of the mixture of your favorite artists that you follow. So whether you know it or not, you will take some things from people you like and turn them into your own in your illustrations. So for example, if you like a certain texture that somebody uses in their illustration or a certain color and you want to use it, that I don't think that is stealing from an artist. Stealing from an artist is basically copying the same image that they did, but taking some things from other artists and trying to figure out how they did it or trying to incorporate them into your own illustrations, I think is something that everybody does, whether they like to admit it or not. Yeah, I think these are my thoughts on your style. My style has evolved a lot over the past years. I started doing portraits in pencil, and I remember being very obsessed with getting the right proportions and making the portrait as accurate as possible, but this was in the beginning. Then I went to art school where I started drawing objects because I was in a design class, and I didn't really enjoy that. I think objects are too stiff and I wasn't really happy with what I did. And then I started doing facial illustration. And that is where I think my experimentation started, because I wasn't really following any rules. I was just doing what I saw. So it was basically an observative drawing experience. I was drawing people from the street, making street style illustration. And that has helped me really move in to the next chapter of my illustration. And from there, I started drawing animals because I really love animals, obviously. and I wanted to learn how to draw their bodies and how to make pet portraits. And then I got into the wallpaper business, where I started doing pet, and I started drawing more botanical elements. So that's basically how my style has evolved. I started with human portraiture, and now I'm into a sort of mix of everything I did before. So yeah, I hope this video is interesting. Let me know how you develop your style, or what you think developing a style means to you. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. I put videos out weekly, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!